Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a mod for the Miramar. And looking at these vehicles, one of them definitely stands out a bit, and that one is the mod. So let's go ahead and take a look at this thing because it does look absurd. So before I go over the specific details, just take it in. Take in the beauty of this vehicle. It is magnificent. So what does it actually have on it? Well, let's go through all the things. It has the big exhaust. The exhaust that's actually taller than the vehicle itself. And then it has two wings on the rear. And I'm sure both of these wings have been tested in a wind tunnel so they make as much downforce as possible. Just kidding, they probably don't do nothing. Moving on to the side, you got the really big wheel overhangs and then the side skirt that blends them together, which would allow you to put really big wheels on it if you wanted to. Onto the front, we got two stabbing bits. We got a stabbing bit on the hood and a stabbing bit on the front bumper, so if this hits somebody who's just walking along the road, it will hurt. The cooling system is also sticking out right on the front, and then it goes through the headlight hole to reach the components that it's keeping cool. And the funny thing is, the hood probably also keeps the engine cooler because it's producing a shadow over the cooling system. I've never seen a car that produces a shadow that big on the front of the vehicle. It's hilarious. And then, of course, the paint job itself is customized. And one thing that's fun about this thing is when you drive it, it does have a flamethrower coming out of all three of the exhausts. And I think it would actually be really fun to see this at nighttime. So I'm going to quickly make it dark, and then we can see the triple flames go. Oh, that is awesome. I can't really see where I'm driving, but I see the flames just going all over the place. It's beautiful. You know, I could see where I was driving, but I just turned on my headlights, which did not work at all. Let that be a lesson, children. When driving at night, do not turn on your headlights because we were doing perfectly fine in the pitch black, and literally the second we turn on the headlights, we crashed. So one fun thing about the exhaust that you might not have noticed though is all three of the exhaust tips backfire independently of each other. A lot of the time they will backfire in sync, but you see that's just two of them, and then that's just one of them, there's just two of them again. And the really funny thing about this is even though they all backfire at different times, they all come from one single main exhaust. You would think, oh, it has three separate pipes all coming from the engine to the back of the car, right? Well, you would be wrong, because if you look under here, you see it's just one main pipe, and then it splits into three right here, so it looks more dramatic and crazy. That's literally the only point of having three of them there, is because three looks cooler than one. And one thing this car is surprisingly good at is doing donuts. We just lock the steering to the side and floor, and it does pretty much perfect donuts. And it looks great doing it. The thing is, this car looks great doing anything, just how crazy it looks. As for actual driving capabilities, it's surprisingly good, except not right here. You see how bumpy this road is? Not the best spot for this thing because we are bouncing all over the place. It basically has a racing suspension setup on it though, so it has pretty good handling. And the engine is a bit upgraded over stock. It's a high performance, naturally aspirated engine, so it could be made a lot faster if you slap a turbo on it, but it has good performance for what it is. So how about we do a crash? I see a container, that's a good crash, and then we can take a look at the damage and see how well it held up. So all the additions on the front actually kind of got lucky because we hit more of the side of the vehicle. So what we need to do is we need to design some crashes specifically for testing the modifications to the vehicle. The first test is to convert the front end into a normal Miramar. How are we going to do that? Are we going to change out parts in the part selector? No. What we're going to do is we're just going to drive the car and crash it into things, and if we crash it at the right angle, it should push in the front of the vehicle to make it look like a normal Miramar. So after the first hit, it's a little bit shorter than it was before, but it's still much longer than a normal one. So we're going to keep going at this wall until either it looks good or the vehicle dies, whichever comes first. So after that next hit, it's pretty close to a normal Miramar on the top. The bottom, however, is still sticking out a ton. That means it's time for yet another crash into the container. That is, if the car will drive straight, it is strafing at it, but we got to straighten it up, and then, ooh, that has broken the rear drive shaft. The good news is, though, is after that impact, it really does look close to a normal Miramar. You would not know that the top part was sticking out that far. The bottom, however, yeah, that one still looks really long for some reason. It almost looks like it wasn't even crashing into anything with the bottom part, which is kind of strange. So how about we do the exact opposite test? Now we're going to try crashing the rear of the vehicle and seeing what happens to the exhaust. Will it fall off? Will it stay attached? Let's see. So here we go. Big crash. We open up the trunk. The exhaust has some dents in it, but it's still attached. So let's go ahead and go for another run. This time we want to hit it just on the corner of the exhaust, like so. And again, exhaust is strong. Although it is worth mentioning, it is clipping inside of the vehicle. So on this next impact, the vehicle might absorb the impact instead of the exhaust. But we're going to try it out anyways. Ooh, that's interesting. The exhaust fell off the side and it still backfires. What does it look like under the vehicle though? So it's all still attached? The exhaust just got bent really badly. That's interesting. In its own way, that kind of looks pretty awesome, having the exhaust exit from the side like that. And why is there just fire on the floor? Who just dropped fire here? Was it me? Yeah, it was me. I guess maybe it's something that's messed up with the gas tank, because the gas tank is bright red and sometimes the gas tank can catch on fire. So that's my best guess. I'm completely lost on that one, to be honest. So let's go ahead and find something else to crash into, because we got a pretty nice intact front end for now. How's it look after that impact? It's still, oh, it can't really drive. That's very difficult to back up, so I'm just doing the best I can to kind of put it in the middle of the road and come to a stop. Oh, it's not stopping. It won't stop. The brakes are messed up. All right, move it forward a little bit, and then here we can take a look at the damage. So we got damage all over the place. And I really didn't realize just how badly damaged it got from all those collisions. There's much more damage than I expected to see. And one thing that's kind of funny is every time you reset the vehicle, it instantly gets damaged on both the front and the sides. You see in the bottom left, it gets slightly yellowish every time, and I don't know why it does that. So next up, I want to do a quick little test to see how the vehicle handles flying. Luckily, we have these big piles of sand that'll work great for flying if I can keep the vehicle in a straight line. It doesn't really have the suspension for this, but it made it, and it's flying surprisingly well. But did you see those front wheels? You gotta bring that back. The front wheels looked absolutely hilarious. So unfortunately, that has ruined the car. And for the next test I want to do, let's change up the map. Just makes things a little bit easier if we have a nice straight surface like you can find at West Coast USA. So what is a big straightaway good for? A head-on collision, because what I want to test is I want to see how does the car handle compared to a normal Boso Miramar. So there's the crazy one. And then for the normal one, let's get a GTZ. And I should also mention, the paint job on the car can also be used on the regular ones if you wanted to. And you can also use the regular paint jobs on that one if you wanted to. You can also change the colors too. So if I wanted it to be orange and red, there you go. That looks absolutely terrible. Why did I pick those colors? Let's pick better. Yellow and blue is always a great combination. The yellow's not quite yellow enough, but it will be good once I do some adjusting to it. That's like a yellow-green. That's hideous. Hideous! There we go. Perfect. All right. So we're going to go ahead and drive this guy forward a bit and let the other guy just sit there. We want to be driving at probably at least 60 miles per hour each. So here is the 60 mile per hour mark, which means we'd have to crash right in the middle of the toll gate. That does not sound easy, so we're going to just completely overshoot that. And then hopefully we'll crash past the toll gate. So like right about here should be good. We'll save the spot without crashing it. Oh, that was perfect. All right, so back to this car. And then we're going to tell the AI to go ahead and change. And now I don't need to do anything but drive straight forward, and we should have a great collision. You know, I just noticed something actually. I didn't notice it before because there's never a good straightaway, but the car is slightly pulling to the right side. How strange. Anyways, we're going to use 16 times slow-mo here, and here comes the crash. I just noticed they're both yellow. That's fun. Yellow cars are cool. It's actually the exact same shade of yellow almost, even though I hand-picked the one on the right side. So how is the damage here? Well, first, let's tell the AI to stop revving their engine because it's annoying me. And then let's see, can we pull the cars apart? Yank, yank, and the answer is a definite no. It looks like they are stuck together. There goes the rear bumper. That's okay. It's not part of the crash. Yeah, they're stuck. They're not going apart. So just taking a look at the damage here. It looks like they're pretty equally damaged. Maybe a little bit more damage actually on the blue one than the customized one. We got all this extra bodywork at the front that might work as a really big bumper, right? All right, so let's go ahead and get the blue car out of here so we can just take a better look at the damage to this guy. Oh, he's pretty badly damaged too. There just wasn't as much damage to the driver's compartment in particular, but the whole front end has completely crumpled up. Now, for the very final test, it's everybody's favorite test. We are going to do the leap of death test. And it's really nice when you don't have to choose what car to use. There's only one option, so it's just click it and drive. And hopefully it'll clear the jump fine. It does sit pretty low to the ground, and that front bumper sticks out really awkwardly. So let's see here. Is it gonna work? Oh, look at it just scraping in the mud. Oh! There goes the front bumper. It's gone. The rear exhaust is all messed up, but we made the jump, and look at the front suspension. The front suspension got messed up too. Good news is we're flying. The exhaust is like, it's connected, but it's not. It is a complete disaster. And then here comes the boom. The car has been destroyed. And at this point, it's so destroyed, any more damage isn't really relevant to the mod because it's more just damaging the main frame of the vehicle. So anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Until next time, this has been WhyBeAre, and remember, if you like or dislike this video, I will know. I can tell by how absurd the car looks. So do the right thing, and I'll see you next time. And I was hoping the car would hit the water right as I said that, but it didn't, so now I'll see you next time. Kind of sad. The aerodynamics don't make it fly better. It just can blip.